Today we do a workshop on technology transfer, on creativity, on innovation. Basically, we will do about 4 steps. We will look at how we look from our domain into other domains. So basically, when you look at most companies, they have a certain technology, they have a certain knowledge in their domain. For example, today there will be some companies there from the pharma industry. Now, the pharma industry is very good in some things, but in other things, the food industry is better. So how can the pharma learn from the food? Can they see if there's some lessons to learn? For example, in their production methods, the food industry is already long time before or ahead of the technology using continuous processing. Most of the pharma is still going in batch. So we will look at how you actually see where your industry, where your products, where your processes are, and who in the world has actually the same kind of processes or products, and how can they transfer the knowledge from that other domains into yours. So the idea is that nobody is as smart as everybody together. If you have a problem, don't try to solve it, but try to find out who in the world has already solved your problem. The chance that somebody has already solved is very large, especially if you can access the patent database. The patent database is a free knowledge database, and it was a Russian guy first, Genrich Altschuler, who started to think, how can I use the patents as the biggest global brain, so that when I have a problem, can I look through today 67 million solutions, basically, and find out who can solve my problem. So on one side, it's about this patent database. On the other side, it's about a process to follow, a stepwise process in which you can say, I start from the question, what do I want? How do I make value out of my product? And that will really be about, if you want something, if you want to make something very good, you can either make more of the good things or less of the bad things. So you can work on more performance, less of the harmful things, easier to use or cheaper. And we'll work on that. The second step will be about thinking out of the box. Now, out of the box, we talk about that a lot, but what is the box and what is out? How do you create this kind of spaces in solutions? We'll do an exercise on that too. Then the third step will be, now if you know that you have to look outside your domain, where do you look? How can you relate your product or your process to other domains? For example, when somebody works in hair coloring technology or on a hair, you could say, well, actually paper industry and hair industry is quite similar because the fiber is quite close. So from one domain, you can go to the other domain quite easily. That will be the third exercise. And finally, we'll work on what now do we change, what do we gain? And we say innovation is all about properties and functions. What is it? What can it do? So when you make a list of all the properties of your system, you can then find out, okay, if I change and I make it hollow, for example, I have a function that it can drift, or that you can put something in, or that it's flexible, or that it's lighter. Many, many reasons why to make something hollow. And hollow is one direction, porosity. You can also make it flexible, you can make it transparent, you can make it pulsed, many directions. So the idea also there is to find out how can we play with properties and functions to make better value.